study about polynomials. So in polynomials, we'll first understand the definition of polynomial. What is polynomial? So many of the students think what is polynomial, how it is defined. So you must have seen something like 5x, 2a, 5c minus 6xx square, 2y square. So these things are called polynomials. So how we define a polynomial? Basically, look at the board. It is defined. It is a mathematical operation that combines variables and constants and coefficients using mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so when we combine coefficients with constants and variables together with some mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, this gives us a polynomial. For example, if I write down 5x square, so here x has a power of 2 and it has a coefficient 5. So a polynomial may have some coefficient, it may be positive or negative, but the power should be always positive. Then it is a polynomial. Power should be positive. Okay, guys, power should be positive, right? If I write down x raised to the power minus 1, is it a polynomial? No, it will give you 1 upon x. The variable should not be in denominator, so it is not a polynomial. This is not a polynomial. Not a polynomial. Why this is not a polynomial, guys? Tell me. So because it has negative power. So a variable having negative power is not going to be a polynomial. It should be always a positive power. Is it clear, guys? Now there can be negative coefficient as well. If I write on minus 2a, this is also a polynomial, but it has only one term. It can have one term, two term, many terms as well. Okay, so now we're going to define polynomials based on degree and polynomials based on number of terms. It can be a plus b minus c is also a polynomial. X square plus y is also a polynomial. So now we're going to define polynomial based on degree and number of terms. Okay, guys, so give me 1 minute time, let me erase it. So we're going to define polynomials by two ways, by number of degree and number of terms. So we're defining polynomials in two ways, based on number of terms and degree of polynomial. Okay, now let's say if a polynomial has only one term, then that is called monomial. Monomial is basically a polynomial having only one term. So a polynomial having only one term. Can you give me some example, guys? Right away I give you some example. So let's write on 5a is a polynomial having only one term, minus 2b is a polynomial having one term, x is a polynomial having one term, minus 3 we can write on c is a polynomial having only one term. Now we define the second polynomial, that is binomial. So binomial is basically a polynomial which has two terms. How many terms, guys? Two terms. So give me some example, guys. X plus y is a polynomial having two terms. Minus a plus b is a polynomial having two terms. Minus 3 minus 4a is also a polynomial having two terms. Here the power of x is 0. That's why we are getting only 3. Anything raised to the power, so anything which has a power 0, it will give you 1. So x raised to the power 0 will give you 1. So here we can assume any one of the variable, that is a, b, c, a to z में कोई भी variable ले सकते हैं जिसका power क्या है 0, that is giving you 3. And then we define binomial, and then we have trinomial. Just 1 second. We have trinomial. Okay, so trinomial is polynomial having three terms. Can you give me some example? We can write down a plus b plus c is a polynomial having three terms, x plus y minus z. So these are the polynomials based on number of terms. Now we'll define the polynomials based on degree of the polynomial. So let's define it from starting. Okay, just 1 second. Yeah. Now first one is zero polynomial. Zero polynomial. This is much important polynomial which most of the student may not be known. So let's define what is zero polynomial. So a variable which is having degree as 0. Let's say, let's write down 5. So 5 can be written in this way, 5 into x to the power 0. X to the power 0 will give you 1. Or we can write down 5 into, let's take any other variable. Let's take a to the power 0. Okay? So this is what is called zero polynomial. All the constant terms are called zero polynomials. Because variables having 0 power will give you 1. If I write down or I can write down 3 into m to the power 0 is these are let's write down 5 only because we have written 5. We are writing 5 is equals to, so we'll write down 5 over here. So 5 m to the power 0. Is it clear, guys? Now let's define the second polynomial, that is linear polynomial. That is linear. Linear means power 1. So a polynomial having power 1 is known as linear polynomial. So the degree is going to be, the degree was 0 over here. Now degree is equals to 1. In linear polynomial we have degree as 1. So if I write down x, 5x, it has a power 1, minus 3y, y has a power 1, and 7a has a power 1. So these are called linear polynomial. Okay. Now let me define the next polynomial, that is quadratic polynomial, which is very much important, guys. This is even asked in JE exams. Quadratic polynomials. Quadratic and cubic is not going to leave you anywhere. Polynomial. Just 1 second. Polynomial. Quadratic polynomial is power. The degree should be 2. The maximum degree should be 2. It can be 0 also, but it cannot be negative. The degree cannot be negative, which was already defined in polynomials. Okay. So the degree of the variable cannot be negative. It is going to be either 0 or positive. If it is 0, it is going to give you 0 polynomial. If it is 1, it is going to give you linear polynomial. And if it is power 2, degree is 2, then that is going to give you quadratic polynomial. So let me write down an example. The form of the quadratic polynomial is given as ax squared plus bx plus c. Over here, x has the maximum degree, that is 2, and has a coefficient a. Here, x has a degree of 1. This is linear, okay, and has a coefficient b, and this is a constant term. Okay, so let me write some more example. 5x squared is also a quadratic polynomial in which we have maximum degree of x as 2, but we do not have x term over here, and we don't have any constant term. Let me write down some more example. Minus 11x squared plus 2x plus 3 is also a quadratic polynomial which has a coefficient negative and the power is positive. That is all defined. So I can write down some more example. Let me write down one more example, that is 2x square plus 4x plus 5. This is also a quadratic polynomial. Now we don't have that much space, so I will define the cubic polynomial over here. So the third one is cubic polynomial. Let me write it here, cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial. So it is going to have a maximum degree is going to be 3. So it is in the form of ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. Now guys, you can write down some example of cubic polynomials and comment it in the comment box. You have lots of options. You can use this. This is coefficient of x cube. This is coefficient of x square. This is coefficient of x, and this is the constant term. So write down 2 to 3 examples of cubic polynomial and comment me in this video. Okay, guys. So we'll move to the next topic. Give me 1 minute break.